My name is Brody, and the four topics I'm going to be covering is unemployment rate, economic growth, inflation rate, and current account. As of January 2025, the unemployment rate in the U.S. is about 4%. This means that out of everyone who is able and willing to work, about 4% of the people are unemployed. This is a slight drop from the month before, showing that the job market is doing well overall, but there's still 6.8 million people looking for jobs. The reasons for this rate are the mix of things. There are always some people changing jobs or trying to find new work, but a lot of businesses are still hiring. This has led to a stable labor market, though there's always some room for improvement. Some people think that this rate could go even lower if companies keep expanding, but overall, this number isn't super high or low. It's somewhere in the middle, showing that things are mostly steady right now. Economic growth. For the last quarter of 2024, the U.S. economy grew at a rate of 2.3%. This means that compared to previous 3 months, the total value of all goods and services produced in the country went up by 2.3. This growth was mainly due to people spending more money, especially on things like travel, food, and types of services. The government also spent a lot, which helped, but businesses have been a bit slower to invest, which held back the economy a little. Overall, the economy is expanding, and it looks like it's on the right track. This level of growth is considered healthy because it is enough to create new jobs and keep businesses running smoothly. However, it's not too fast, so it doesn't cause too much inflation or problems in this economy. Right now, the country is in expansion phase, meaning things are looking good for the economy, but nothing too fast that is risk overheating. Inflation rate. Inflation, or the rise in prices, has been a big topic lately. In January 2025, the inflation rate was 3%. Which is higher than people were expecting, but some of the biggest price increases were in food, like eggs, which went up by 15% due to the flu outbreak affecting chickens. Other things like rent and housing cost also went up. This rate of inflation is a bit concerning because it's higher than 2% target that the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank, aims for. So the Fed has said that it will be more careful about lowering interest rates anytime soon. They want to see inflation come down more before they make any big moves. If inflation stays this high, it can make life more expensive for people, especially when it comes to things like groceries and gas. The Fed's job is to keep inflation in check, so they'll likely keep monitoring it closely to decide whether they need to raise interest rates again or to slow things down. Finally, current account. The U.S. current account deficit is another important part of the economy. The current account shows whether a country is spending more money on foreign goods and services than it's earning from its exports. In the third quarter of 2024, the U.S. current account deficit increased to $310.9 billion, which is about 4.2% of the country's GDP. This means that the U.S. is importing more than it's expecting or exporting, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can create some problems in the long run. A deficit means that the country is borrowing money from other countries to pay for these imports. While this can be okay in the short run, if it continues, it could lead to issues with debt. The U.S. has had a current account deficit for many years, and it's a sign that the country buys a lot of goods from abroad, but it doesn't always sell as much as to the other countries. This is something economists keep an eye on because if the deficit gets too large, it can lead to economic instability. Four more main points I out was the employment rate, economic growth, inflation, and the current account. They give a good picture of how the U.S. economy is doing right now, and things are mostly stable. But there are still some challenges to watch.